right?
You gotta put some of this in the clip beforehand.
Oh yeah. A lot of waves here.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Welcome back to the July 4th edition of Timberwolves Talk Podcast. The year is 2026. It's probably been, what, year and a half since we may have filmed one of these.
It's been a while. It's been a while, but it doesn't matter. We're back here. We don't want to waste too much time explaining ourselves because there's not much to explain besides
all the nice Timberwolves moves, I guess, that have happened, and I don't know. It's been kind of a busy Timberwolves news cycle, I'd say.
Yeah. Usually, when we get to the off season, it's kind of like, well, nothing to talk about. Let's talk about. I mean, we would be talking about Trey Lyles signing to the Wolves would be probably the number one thing, but somehow the Wolves have found themselves in the LeBron James sweepstakes.
Yeah, do we want to hit on that first? Or I think we hit on LeBron first.
Well, you gotta hit the Lamelo first in order to make sense of the LeBron. Otherwise
very fair.
It doesn't make any sense.
That's very fair. So I guess to preface the Lamelo trade, what kind of so we had that. Well, no, to even preface the Lamelo trade, you have to preface the Julius Randle trade.
Sure, the big one. Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know what I thought originally of the Julius Randle trade. I didn't really know what to make of the return because what was it? We had to give away a second round pick and Julius Randle.
Yeah, we traded a first rounder.
Oh yeah.
We traded our 28th pick for their 33rd pick.
Oh yeah, a swap. Yeah, so on the surface, not much of a return for Julius Randle considering we gave up Karl Anthony Towns to get him originally.
Yeah, and DiVincenzo's out for the year.
Yeah. So I guess going into the offseason, I was a little bit more pessimistic. There's kind of, you got the Thunder and the Spurs are kind of, they're in kind of a tier of their own. So, going into the offseason, you don't really know what you're able to do. And then trading away Julius for basically nothing, you're like, well, that's one asset that's down the drain that you can't really attach to a trade.
I mean, and there was times in the last few years where I thought Julius Randle was the best player on the Timberwolves. I mean, there was a lot of times when he was the consistent guy and Ant was not. I mean, think about the playoffs. Was that 2 years ago that he carried us through the first round?
Yeah, I mean, the Warriors series and what was the one prior to that?
The Lakers.
The Warriors and the Lakers, I mean, Julius Randle might have been the best player in the Lakers series. That's pretty wild considering Luka, LeBron, and Anthony Edwards played in it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just another testament or another showing of the Wolves fan base. And, I guess we're part of it, but just how quick we can turn on a player. And I'm sure that's the same with all sporting teams. But, I mean, we basically were, after this year, we were happy to get rid of him, even if we had to attach a first-round pick.
Yeah, I mean,
We had to get rid of him. I think it was the right move. But just, how quickly we turned, and there was no positivity towards Julius. And I think you could see it towards the end of his tenure with the Wolves, that there was no fun there. He had no fun. He was ready to get out of there.
To be frank, I mean, the Spurs series just, it left a very bad taste in my mouth. And I think that's most Wolves fans when talking about Julius Randle. But yeah, you'd think, I don't know. I think a reason the Nets were even wanting to take Julius Randle's contract though is because of the new lottery rules for next year. The first three teams are going to be almost penalized for tanking, and then the middle, I don't know, what is it, 4 to 9 or 10 teams are going to have the best odds to get the first pick, all shared. So it's
right. You want to land in that 4 to 10. They're rewarding mediocrity.
Yeah. So the Brooklyn Nets don't want to be one of the worst three teams. I mean,
and Julius, he's the type of player that'll get you right there, in the middle of the league.
Perfect. And you know what the thing is I don't want to look back on this trade and be like, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen right now. Julius Randle's going to go to Brooklyn. He's going to score 28 points per game because there's no one else there besides Michael Porter Jr. that'll even contest for that.
Yeah.
So Julius is going to have a good individual season. I'm sure of it. Brooklyn may be able to offload his contract after the season because he's going to have some value, I'm sure. And then Julius Randle will probably go to some other contender and probably shit the bed again in his final year of his contract. So that's how Julius Randle
The experience
will probably go. And, that's you kind of know what you're getting into, though, when you take on Julius Randle, I'd say. But I don't know. Did you touch on all your feelings about Julius Randle? I don't have too much more besides the fact.
Yeah, I think just kind of sad that that's how it that's how it had to end.
Because it was a fun 2 years of basketball
It was
for
okay.
Julius Randle.
It was okay.
Not as fun as the cat year.
I feel a little bad for him that he's not going to be leaving here the hero, but I'm definitely happy that we moved on, and I think we were ready. I was okay with it even before
acquiring
Lamelo Ball, which I think
makes fans a little bit more excited. I'd say. Julius had some good moments, but overall, I'd say it wasn't what it was supposed to be. It was always going to be a clunky fit with Rudy. But yeah, getting on to the Lamelo trade, I think that it was quite the surprise. All the news came out like the night before that he was going to be traded at some point.
That they were actively shopping him.
Yeah, and you knew the Timberwolves were going to be involved. Timberwolves Talk podcast didn't have any sourcing about that specifically, but the Stein line and Athletics said that the Wolves and I think it was the Raptors were the other team
Wolves
interested.
and the Raptors. And we I don't know, we're kind of just like Tim Conley, where we all were fans of LaMelo ever since the draft.
Yeah, we're kind of Timberwolves Talk podcast is kind of linked forever to LaMelo Ball since, our big coverage was the 2020 draft. That's our claim to fame.
That's when we started.
The second choice I'd want them to do is LaMelo Ball. He's going to be one of the best passers in the NBA right when he steps foot on the court. He could turn into the next franchise player in the NBA. I really do. I think he can be a superstar.
Didn't get FaceTime with James Wiseman. That was my guy. Now, I get it. Wiseman and Cat would have been a really weird defensive fit.
Yeah.
And the Wolves couldn't get James's medical records.
What are your thoughts on that Anthony Edwards draft pick?
Well, yeah, I went on the record saying that Wiseman was my guy. I also said, there is the audio, you can track it down, that you could make a strong case that if you're chasing a third superstar, Bradley Beal, Ben Simmons, you name the third superstar, right? And again, we can debate D'Angelo Russell, but that the guy that had the highest potential trade value would have been LaMelo Ball. And he's kicking ass right down in Charlotte. He's the clear cut right now rookie of the year. And this is coming from a pretty big Tyrese Halliburton fan.
That's when we started. I've always had a liking for LaMelo's game. It's kind of hard not to, see him come up in the ranks when you're playing basketball yourself.
Right. Yeah. Another thing is when we were. I remember sitting in geometry class freshman year watching LaMelo Ball highlights with Chino Hills.
Of course.
So yeah, we were in the same recruiting class, although neither of us got recruited, but LaMelo was up there at the top.
Yep. He made it out. I think the interesting thing about LaMelo's career, before we even talk about the Wolves fit, has just been like him kind of branded as like not a loser, but like people don't respect people don't take him seriously as a hooper.
Right, and they don't think he takes the game seriously, which
couldn't be farther from the truth in my opinion.
Right. Honestly, I don't think there's much to his, it's hard to speak on another man's life, but I don't think there's much to his life besides basketball. And that's been true ever since he was, Chris and I last weekend, we were watching LaMelo Ball evolution highlights, and it started off when he was like 12 years old playing in varsity ball.
Yeah.
And so, his whole life has been revolving around basketball, and I think that's actually why he's able to make it look so effortless and so, maybe make it look like he's not caring too much because,
he's got such a good feel for the game. And
right.
I think, to be fair to him, there's not many American-born players that have gone to play pro basketball at, 15 or 16 in Lithuania and then play in Australia.
Right.
We'll forget about Spire Academy in there for a little bit, but
Rocket Watts, that was the name of the
Rocket
guy
Watts. Yeah. Him and Rocket Watts and Myron Gardner. But I don't know. I think the situation he got drafted into in Charlotte was just, no one wants to play with Treveon Graham and Devontae
Graham.
Treveon Graham was a Wolves player. Devontae Graham and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. Not a great situation. Miles Plumlee.
No, and another thing you got to take into account is that, I mean, when he was at Chino Hills, he was part of the best basketball team in the history of high school basketball. He never really lost a game.
3 straight state championships.
Right. So when people say he's not a winner, I don't think that's true. But imagine having to adjust from winning every single game to being on the Hornets.
It's probably a miserable life experience.
And especially as such a young kid, I mean, you know, he probably went through some ups and downs there with the Hornets.
Oh yeah, and you know what? I think it's probably going to be really good for him. I think to take a step back and just be a number 2 distributor, because the Hornets were looking at him as we looked at it at Anthony Edwards. They were looking at him to be the franchise savior, which I think he's such a cerebral player, but I don't think you want him being the number 1A scoring option.
Right, it's putting him in the wrong place to succeed.
Yeah, you want him to be, and that's why I think he was so much better this year with the Hornets, is because he had a little help. Like, he had the Brandon Millers, he had the Con Knipples.
Right.
He had some players that could take the scoring load off of his hands, so he could be a cerebral player and just distribute and be a...
Right, and that's what he does best.
Yeah, and now I think like this version of the Timberwolves team is like it's a loaded version of what the Hornets team was last year. Plus, you have defenders, which the Hornets did not have.
Right.
With all respect to Moussa Diabate,
Well, yeah.
he's not Rudy Gobert.
He's no Rudy Gobert. Yeah, Brandon Miller's not really a lockdown defender.
No, he's not
Neither is
Jaden
Con
McDaniels.
Knippel, I don't think.
No, so I mean, I think all the weaknesses of LaMelo's game, maybe just the overall like rim finishing. You're gonna have Anthony Edwards, McDaniels to Io DeSumo to take the load off that a little bit. The defensive side of the ball, like having Jaden and Rudy to cover him up.
And Ant even too. I mean, Ant's a great defender when he wants to be.
And I think I think that's another segment, how this frees up Ant a little bit more. But just like overall, I think you're sticking him in a position where he is going to be optimized for what he is. I think back about like not that D'Lo had any really, really good years with the Wolves, a couple maybe.
Superstar.
Peyton did call him a superstar. We'll set that aside for now. But if you remember, like, people thought D'Lo was a good defender because he was just roving the paint.
Yeah.
They just gave him the rover role. I think that's probably what you could do with LaMelo a little bit too.
Well, and he's 6'8". That's another thing. He's no small body.
No, I think like I said, I think it's going to be a really good fit. It's going to be, at the very least, even if this team doesn't win 60 games, it's going to be just fun basketball.
Fun,
I feel like.
I mean, the most fun team in the league, probably.
Most likely, league pass #1 for sure. I mean,
You got LeVar on the sidelines.
that's the thing about like Julius Randle was a floor raiser maybe, but you weren't coming out of the game visually enjoying what you just saw.
I like to say I never saw a Julius Randle bucket that I liked.
No.
It never was pretty. Not even once.
No. And I think, LaMelo is going to make some extremely dumb plays. I am very sure of it. But he's going to make up for it, I think, with a lot of transition points. I think that's what I'd say that's what the OKC and the San Antonios of the world do really well, is they get out in transition. And us as a team, I felt like never really ran last year.
But we did when we had Io
And Nas.
and Bones and Nas. And it's like, imagine just putting LaMelo into that.
And I think Anthony's kind of got to buy into the transitions. I felt too many times last year Anthony Edwards was tired. Like he looked tired. Looked very lethargic, like defending and then getting up and down the court. So it's like, I don't know, he's got to buy into this new style of play that they're going to have to undertake, I think, without two bigs anymore.
Sure. I think it's going to be it'll be the first time we get to see Anthony Edwards with a true point guard.
Yeah, I don't have the stats off the top of my hand. I did see somewhere that Anthony Edwards was like the best catch-and-shoot three-point shooter in the entire league last year, but he just didn't get to do it a lot because the ball was...
I mean, who's he catching it from?
No. I mean, yeah, Dante, which isn't a real point guard, I guess.
All right, we got. I think we got to bump up a little bit.
Adjustment?
We're falling back.
All right. Get the anchor. Pause.
Yeah, whatever. Pause. Just pull it up a little bit, and I'll just... You got it up enough here?
No, it's the one in the boat. Okay, it's up and down.
The sun, I mean, is just horrible.
Yeah, it's not good.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Drop it.
Yep. Nice. Well, I mean, if we could get turned to, I guess you're right in the sun.
No, that's fine.
Make sure, yeah, we're recording. All right, well, pretend like that never happened, or I guess we can just keep that moment in there.
Yep. I think we can keep it.
But-
If you guys haven't noticed by now, we're on a lake.
In the middle of the day, we were supposed to get up at like 8, 9, but yeah, it's like noon on the 4th of July, so if it's a little wobbly, I mean, you know, we're making the best of it right now.
Yeah,
but,
just don't look at the phone if you're getting seasick.
yeah, just listen. Or, I mean, don't listen too hard because we also don't have our proper audio equipment.
But that's just part of it. We're experimenting now. This is good though. It's a good experiment.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You know, we touched on it earlier. We haven't done a podcast in maybe 2 years, so just even the fact that we got the camera rolling is
it's a win.
a win. And you know, that's I think the situation was too big for us not to talk about.
Should we talk about the inspiration for filming another pod quick while we're in the
We're in
middle
this
of it?
little weird halftime segment, but yeah, I think you can, you know, don't disclose too much information, but
We had a viewer come up to us at the bar the other night and recognized Timberwolves Talk podcast, which we didn't know that existed, that you guys actually were out there.
right, we thought it was I don't know. I didn't even know there was real people watching besides our brothers and friends.
Yep. So shout out Wolf is the name he gave us.
Yeah, give them a little breakdown of how the approach happened.
Yeah, I think we were getting some McGoldens at the bar, and we were probably chatting Wolves. Honestly, we were chatting something about the Wolves, and then Wolf, the man in a Nas, was it a Nas Reed or a
Jaden McDaniels?
A Jaden McDaniels jersey comes up to us and asked if we were the guys who did the Timberwolves podcast, which there's many guys who do a Timberwolves podcast. So I guess we're two of them.
Or two of them, yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Chatted with Wolf for 5 minutes. Thought we'd shout him out. Hopefully
Yeah.
he's listening to this point.
Yeah, I don't think this episode would have happened without Wolf and the shout out, and also the Lamelo Ball trade. So, as I was saying before, I got a little nervous that we were backing into the lily pads. Was that I think, yeah, I mean, the version of Anthony Edwards that we're gonna see this year is gonna be unlike. It's gonna be unlike any other Ant that we've ever seen, honestly, because he's always had to be that guy. He's bringing the ball up the court. He's always had to be the guy that's creating everything, and obviously that's why I think he's a little lethargic. Or the reason why maybe he's been getting banged up the last few years. I mean, you can't double Edwards as much anymore when you're going to be leaving Lamelo Ball with an advantage.
I mean, there's almost two things you'd like to see come out of this in his game. You'd like to see the defense kind of pick back up where it was in the second, third season, like when we were starting to talk about him as a good defender. So if he has the ball out of his hands enough, I think he should be able to get back to form there. And then just the other thing I think is just, I don't know, being the leader. I think this kind of takes some burden off of his shoulders too. He can defer a little bit, and he can play more of a role in the offense. It doesn't feel like he has to be like the James Harden or the Luka Doncic of the team. He can kind of just, he can carve out his own role as a two guard, which he is. He's not a point guard, as we've learned the past couple years.
Guard.
Terrible. I mean, and he's obviously a great and still efficient player, but when I just don't, I think the offense has been a little stagnant.
Terrible. I mean, in the Spurs series, even especially when he was hurt, he wasn't playing full speed. There were some times where, I hate to say it, but the Wolves' offense was tough to watch for me because it would just kind of be Anthony, and now I sound like Doris Burke using his first name.
Yeah.
Just be Anthony going down and taking one of the most contested shots I've ever seen, and it went in, but yeah, I think this adds so much to our team offensively.
Yeah. And, you know, I do think the defense is probably still a little bit of a question, but to be frank, I don't know if Julius Randle and Naz Reid were like the best defensive stoppers of all time. I think Julius could do it when he really needed to. I thought he did a good job on Wemby in the Spurs series. But it's like I don't know. You're kind of give and taken on defense, but the offensive ceiling now is like best offense in the league type ceiling.
Could be.
It could be.
It could be. At its full potential, it could be. Yeah, we're losing Naz Reid, which I think for a lot of people was really, really sad.
It's a good thing to touch on.
For me, I've never really been a big Naz Reid supporter. I've always, I liked him as a guy. I think he's a really sweet guy, but as a player, I don't know. It was really hard for me to love him. I think he complained a lot. I think his defense wasn't great. I thought sometimes he took really bad shots, even though they went in. And so I wasn't too sad that we had to lose him, especially because we were replacing him with a Lamelo Ball.
A very lovable figure too, which, maybe he doesn't become the cult hero that Naz Reid was, but he's going to be a fan favorite. Everything you hear about Lamelo is great.
Well, besides driving.
If you're on the streets of Minneapolis.
I know that vehicles, it's a very dangerous thing, but I mean, at the end of the day, being a bad driver is not necessarily a character flaw. I think there's a lot of people that have bigger issues out there.
Yeah, besides when he hit somebody in Charlotte, that was bad.
Yeah, that's terrible. You shouldn't be doing that.
The jet skis and the boats are really starting to come out right now, so sorry if there's any noise in the background, but yeah, I mean, it is sad losing Naz Reid, but again, I think like when you look at the grand scheme of things, I think you're okay with what the flop was, the Julius Randle, Naz Reid to Lamelo Ball.
Yeah, I mean, if you would have told me 2 years ago that you'd be able to get Lamelo Ball and all you'd have to give up is Naz Reid, or if you told me that 2 weeks ago, I'd be so happy, and I still am. So, I mean, I was walking around that day, I had a little extra pep to my step. I mean, it was one of the happiest I've been in a long time.
I think I've seen this going around. I want to get your opinion on it. Is this going to be the best shooting backcourt since the Splash Brothers?
Wow, you've seen really?
I've seen that going around. They take, I mean, LaMelo and Ant take upwards of almost 23s combined a game together, which is absurd. LaMelo's probably got to cut back on that a little bit.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't be fat, but I think it's the best backcourt in the NBA
right now.
Yeah.
Who would you put against it?
I think
Harden and Mitchell. I just don't love those two.
It's better than Harden, Mitchell. I mean, you got like Edgecombe and Maxey.
That's a good backcourt.
It's a good backcourt,
but it's not them.
It's not them.
I mean, Lonzo did say that they are the two best stars under 25. That's why he's so excited for the Wolves to make this trade. What do you think about bringing him in? Lonzo. Do you reunite the Ball brothers? I saw LeVar talking about they'll win a chip if they bring all the brothers on the team.
No, I don't think so. I don't think you do it. I don't think you need to do it.
Too much drama, maybe?
Nah, it's just, I don't know. I mean, Lonzo's a solid player, great defender.
Yeah, but his knees are kind of cooked.
He's cooked. And so that brings me to another point, which is, this is all great on paper. It's all great to talk about, all great to imagine, but if LaMelo plays 20 games next year, 30 games the next season.
Ooh, you're kind of back where you were last year a little bit. Like, I think that Dante, now we only lost Dante for the grand scheme of 6 games, but the impact of losing the pseudo point guard was unbelievable on the team. He was our best 3-point shooter. He was the only ball distributor we had besides Mike. So it's like, I think if you lose LaMelo, you probably look like you looked in the Spurs series, unfortunately.
But then you don't even have Naz Reid.
Yeah, and you're counting on Bones Highland in the absence of Dante to run the second unit.
And no Mike anymore. I mean, it's a big if this season, and I'd rather be on a team. I'd rather cheer for a team that's willing to take the big shot than a team that is willing to sit in mediocrity.
Now, you want to know where some of those point guard duties could be fulfilled, though. Say a LaMelo Ball did go down for a select variety of games.
Lonzo?
No, there's a guy sitting out there right now with about 29 teams interested in him.
Oh.
That
he can play any role.
He can literally play any role, but his point guard may be his best role.
Sure. And again, I can't believe it that we're actually in having this conversation right now.
I mean, making the top 6 for, if anyone doesn't know who we're talking about, the King, LeBron James, is pretty wild, I'd say. The Timberwolves are in that.
They're on the whiteboard.
They're on the whiteboard.
Weird,
the Rich Paul crime scene whiteboard almost. Yeah, I don't. There's going to be some theatrics in the next couple weeks.
There's already been theatrics. I think the fact that Rich Paul's off on this,
his soapbox.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing.
I do think it is worthwhile to talk about, because I think we would be the podcast to talk about something that would have no chance of happening, but we want to be the podcast that talks about stuff that's being rumored around a little bit.
Yeah,
so I think this is totally within the grasp of something we can imagine for next year's team.
Sure.
I think now we have to remember LeBron James is going to be 42.
Yeah, he's old.
He's going to be 42 years old, so you don't want to have to rely on him to be the point guard. However, a healthy lineup of LeBron playing his natural position at the 4 is pretty insane to think about. The Timberwolves have the most plug-and-play spot for LeBron James right now.
Right. All healthy.
All healthy.
It's the best fit for him.
I think that team probably competes with the Spurs and the Thunder.
And everyone's saying that, this is what Windhorst is saying, is that this is going to be a happiness decision for LeBron.
Yeah. LeBron, look at where we are right now. How could you not want this?
Right, look at this, and then, you get to play with LaMelo, you get to play with Ant-Man, who he loves.
His best friend.
He loves Ant-Man. He's got this weird little man crush on him, maybe you could say.
Yeah.
It'd be fun basketball, I think.
Jaden and LeBron as your 2 wings? Are you kidding me?
And then Gobert locking it all down.
People talk about how much height we lost in this recent trade. Imagine that starting lineup with LeBron in it. How much? That's the tallest team in the NBA.
Right.
I mean,
6'8" LaMelo, 6'5" Ant.
Yeah, Jaden's what, 6'9", 6'10", LeBron's 6'9". So, I just want to put that out there, that out of all these teams that are kind of being rumored about, I do think the Timberwolves, for the craziest reason, the clutch people right now are probably trying to figure out any situation not to have him go to Minnesota, but they keep coming back to, oh my God, the Timberwolves have the best fit for him right now.
Right, and so do you think that this was all part of the grand scheme of this 4D chess that Tim Conley was playing? You get rid of Randall, free up that spot for LeBron.
You let go of Kyle Anderson.
Right.
Mike Conley.
So now LeBron, he doesn't have to compete with anyone for that vet role now.
No. It is a little weird that Tim Conley would just let Julius go, Nas go, and then let Kyle Anderson walk. The Kyle Anderson walking one's the biggest signifier to me, because that was literally all your power forward spots. There's not one power forward on the team right now.
Trey Lyles.
Yeah. I guess you got Trey Lyles. You're hoping he doesn't have to play 1 minute next year.
Right. Although I think I saw you shooting 41% from 3 in Eurobasket.
That's pretty good. You'll take that. So I don't know. I do think that Tim Conley is kind of. I really enjoy how he leaves no stone unturned. He's always taking the big shot, which probably will burn him. It has burned him already.
I think I've seen a quote where he said, I'd rather take the big shot and get fired than just sit here and not do anything.
I think we all have to have that attitude in life at some point.
I agree.
So yeah, I trust him. If I had to attach a percentage of likeliness that LeBron James would come to the Timberwolves, it'd probably be 10%, which you'd take.
Yeah, again, even the fact that we're in the conversation. Now, does it make sense? I think maybe 6 years ago, it would make a lot of sense for LeBron to come to the Wolves, because we're a young team, we're growing. It's like we almost have a gap year this year. But for him to come here for his last year or last 2 years, I don't know. But I've also seen that he'd be the only player to win a championship with 4 different teams. He'd be bringing us our first ever championship. I mean, he'd get his jersey retired here. He'd get a statue here.
It would not be ring chasing. This would only add to his legacy. If he brought a championship to Minnesota and got 5, he would, even though Jordan would still have one more than him, I think you'd have to consider LeBron the GOAT for bringing a chip to Minnesota.
The helpless.
And so that's what I wanted to talk about with the other teams too, because I know we're a Timberwolves podcast, but if you go through the list, it's like, I don't know, what's bringing one more to Golden State? I do understand he probably wants to play with Curry.
I think that'd be a lot of fun to watch.
But realistically, if you're LeBron, wouldn't you want to keep those legacies separate? Like, you don't want to be tied to Curry in the last season. That was your enemy.
Sure, but it's like it's
a
the
respect
Olympic.
thing.
It's like the old man coming in. But I honestly, I don't think that
that
Warriors,
team's not winning a chip.
No, they're not winning a chip.
And LeBron said, it's about winning a champ. It's about competing for a championship, and it's about being happy. Are the two things.
And I think those two things go hand in hand. You're not going to be happy if you're not competing for a championship. So ultimately, all that matters is competing for a championship.
So we're gonna say the Warriors are not the best fit, even though it'd be fun. The Heat, the Heat are interesting. I almost think the Heat would be looked at a little like a ring chase on the legacy, though.
Right.
If you're going with Giannis and Bam, but also I do think that front court's a little weird of a fit too.
A little redundant, I think.
Like, what LeBron shot 31% from 3 last year. Giannis is not a shooter. Bam cannot hit the shot from outside either, really. So, like,
Davion Mitchell.
I don't think that team. And the Heat fans can come at us in the comments. I don't think that team's a championship level contender even right now. So, I don't know. I don't think the Heat are I think he's done his time in South Beach.
Right. It wouldn't be like a coming home type thing.
Yeah. The Mavs were also listed as a team. I just think they're, the Kyrie relationship with LeBron's already a little weird.
Didn't go to
the golf trip.
Right.
You kind of look at the Mavs like, I don't know if they're ready yet for that.
No.
They're not ready yet. Which leaves the Philadelphia 76ers, which I do think is an option for him.
I think that'd be a great fit.
A lot of clutch guys on that team. They kind of have the 4 spot wide open as well.
Right.
I think that team would be kind of filthy. The only thing I'd say about that is LeBron's not going to want to take 4th fiddle on a championship team, you think, right?
Probably not.
Probably not, I'd say.
But again, I think maybe he'd be okay, as long as he's having fun.
Yeah.
And as long as he's got the ball at the end of the game.
We have our Timberwolves blinders on, so we're trying to find, misfits with every single team. But realistically, the Sixers are definitely an option. And I think...
But I don't know. For me, it'd just be hard to imagine LeBron going to Philly.
I agree. Like, Philly's a town that they hate him, right? They don't like LeBron. And also, like, I don't think LeBron and Jaylen Brown would be, like, a good fit together. I feel like they'd clash personality-wise.
Right. Two alphas in the room.
Like,
2 people that think they're the alpha.
The good thing about LaMelo and Ant is they'll just defer. They don't... Yeah. Do they care if LeBron takes over the game? Probably not.
They'd allow it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I truly do, without the Timberwolves blinders on, think they are the best fit for what he wants right now. The only issue is just the location of Minnesota.
Right. I mean,
it sucks in the winter.
In the winter, it sucks, sure. But, I mean, who's to say that LeBron can't use his private jet and, fly back to LA between games?
I don't know if you saw it, too. One of his requirements was great indoor and outdoor golf, which Minnesota has some of the best. The whole Minnesota-Wisconsin region has some of the best outdoor golf in the world. And then the indoor golf is kind of like what we're known. Oh, false alarm on the.
It's also a fishing podcast.
So I don't know. I think Minnesota weirdly fits a lot of requirements just besides being away from his family. But like, it's only going to be a couple, like a year maybe. Like I couldn't even see it.
I was seeing some things on Reddit where maybe they'd say he's got 2 years left, right? He wants to play quarter decade. He's a big
25 years would be huge.
So maybe you go to Minnesota for 1 year, try it out, and then you go back to Cleveland because I think Cleveland ultimately
would be even though you wouldn't win a chip there. See, we didn't even touch on Cleveland because that's not even a threat. They're not even an Eastern Conference threat, in my opinion.
But if you plug in LeBron,
potentially,
I think Cleveland for me that's most likely where he's going to end up.
for the next 2 years.
For the next 2 years.
But what
if
I
was a betting man.
What I like about the random team, and this is Wolves included, is like if you went to the Wolves or we didn't mention the Nuggets. I also think the Nuggets are probably an interesting fit. There'd be no issues like if it wasn't going well. Like I think both parties would be okay, given LeBron the runway to go find a competitor for the rest of the season.
You think halfway?
I think it would totally be fine if LeBron just wanted to, he's like, all right, we tried it. It's not going to work. I'm not going to win a chip. Like, you can offload me for some picks or a player, and I think it would be totally fine. He could not do that in Cleveland, Golden State,
he's
or
stuck.
Miami. Those
He's
three,
stuck.
he's stuck. He can't go anywhere.
Right.
That would look terrible if he left those teams.
So, which color LeBron jersey are you going to get when he comes?
Gotta go with the blue
The
blue
blues.
23. Oh man, who's 23 right now on the Wolves is the question.
I don't think we got one.
I don't even think we do. Do we? I can't even remember besides Jarrett Culver who wore that number.
I think it's always wide open. I mean, what about 6? Do we got 6?
6 would have been Jordan McLaughlin and who wore it after him? I don't even know. I don't know. No one's probably interested in that, but it matters to us. What would he wear, 23 or 6?
I don't know, but you'd have to get a Wolves LeBron jersey. I'd probably get a white. And
White one?
It's another thing. I mean, we should have been doing more podcasts because we could talk about the rebrand for a long time.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
That's right up our alley.
I think that's something you got to add into the LeBron equation, even the Lamelo equation.
They're going to look dripped out with the new unis.
Right, and that they know to wrap it all up here. I think another reason why we wanted to bring the podcast back, not just because of Wolf, but because I think this season is
It's a new era.
It's a new era of Wolves ball, and I think it has a chance to be the most fun season of Timberwolves basketball.
2023-esque, I think. The vibes will be like that.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, if I could scrape up some money to, get season tickets or get a quarter season, pass, I think this is the season to do it. I want to be in Target Center as many nights as possible.
For sure. We'll have to throw it on the story a little bit, get some watch parties going.
Yeah,
with the viewers with Wolf.
And we never want to make any promises because we've been the guys not to keep up our word.
Yep. So we'll see you when we see you, I think, is the biggest thing. I think we're motivated to try to do this a little bit more now.
After Wolf, after he revived us.
Yeah, there's still people out there that want to hear some Wolves content. I also think there's kind of a gap in the space, not a gap in the space where there's bad people covering the Wolves. There's a lot of good Wolves coverage, but I think there's a gap in the fan space right now. I don't see a lot of that.
Not to throw anybody under the bus or anything, but I think there's all those guys that they were the fan level podcasters, which I would say that's where we fit. We have no facts, we have no real experience besides high school basketball.
Just talking about the game.
Talking about the game. That's always what we've been. We're not shy of making a hot take, and we also have no repercussions for making a hot take.
No.
And I feel like the other podcasts that were on this level, they're getting too analytical now. They're talking about the second apron. They're filling that space. They're becoming insiders, and yeah, I think that this area is wide open. The only other one I can think of is Howlin' with the Homies with Parker Fox, who I'm a big fan of.
Yeah. Which maybe there's a collab in the future there.
We're open.
We're open to it.
We're open to it.
But I think we covered all the ground we wanted to today. We had the Julius trade, we had the Lamelo acquisition, we got some LeBron steam. So I think until the LeBron signing happens, or until we get a real power forward, I think we can be good.
We can chill for a little bit. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you're not seasick at this point. And yeah, you probably couldn't see me or Chris's face the whole time because of the sun.
That's okay.
But yeah, I think we kind of wanted to take for this rebrand of our podcast is being able to take it off the Zoom camera. We're around.
We've experimented with this in the past too. I think it's something we got to keep working towards though.
Right. Is the in-person, I think that adds another level. It's us two and wherever you are. So
that's all I got.
With that being said, have a happy 4th of July. This will probably come out around the 8th of July, I would say.
Yep. Stay safe. Don't blow any limbs off.
And keep hoping for LeBron. I think there's a chance.
You see us? A big one?
Chris, you gotta catch us on the dock.
22 inch?
A bass?
Oh, you're going right at it. Right.
Could you guys see up me?
Oh, I'm going right at the dock.
You gotta catch it.